Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, do you know that you can fail 80% of the time and still win in your life? You might think, how is that possible? In normal common society wise, like when somebody fails few times, then they are the failure only. So how do you understand that? So that is a chapter 6, which is Tails You Win. So the first thing that he's saying is you can be wrong half of the time and still he's telling in terms of investment of or business or in entrepreneurship, but it's applied everywhere. You can be wrong half of the time and still make a fortune or win in life or make something that you want to make in your life. So in the previous chapters, like in the 5 chapters that we learned about the thinking, the behavioral pattern, how do we have relationship with money, and understood how compounding, or like when you leave some money for or invest some money in long term, how do you gain, like how much do you gain. And the yesterday one, which is about survival, like you have to take risk when you want to build something, and when you want to save, like have fortune, you have to save, you have to play the survival game. On the top of that, with continuing that, this chapter tells you that when you play the long game, you can be failure, like you can have 80% of failure with you, and still the 20% will make you win. You don't have to uh, keep on winning to make your life the dream life that you want. You can fail 80% and still be a good, have a good life, or something that you wanted to achieve all the time. When failure happens, like in terms of business or entrepreneurship or investment, or like business wise, like you hoped for something, it the result came out something. We don't see failure as a normal thing because we have not built our the society is not built in that way. When something fails, you always see it as a like a big failure. One person does something, and then you think, okay, they are like this, they cannot do something after that. That is how our brain has like trained. So that is why it doesn't come as a intuition, like okay, you have tried something and you failed, that's okay, that is a normal thing, you try something else. That is the basic thing. So the goal of this chapter is, like what he is telling is, if you have to summarize in one line, you try 100 things. Out of that, 80 fails and 20 might be, like in that 20 also 10 might be okay, 5 might be medium range success, and only 5 can be a huge success, and you will still be a success. So the yesterday chapter, what was he telling? You have to play the survival game. So when can you try 100 games, like when can you try 100 different things? When you play in long run, right? That is when like you can try different things and you can still survive. Out of those 100 things, maybe 99th or 100th game that you might win. So okay, so that is the in general term that we understood, like why tails you win. What he is telling is heads, that is the normal outcome that you expect. Okay, you do something and that is the normal outcome or something that you are expecting. What does tail mean? Tail mean that is some special outcome, maybe something huge outcome. You a normal example that we can take is, somebody is doing a YouTube for like say 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, logging, uh, traveling, business type videos or motivational videos. They might be doing something else till 2 years, 3 years, they might not become a hit, they might not. But one video or one click in Instagram reel also, we see that one click or something that connects with the audience, then they become success. Then the user will go, like the audience will go and watch the previous videos, right? Does that mean like the first 3 years were waste? Does that mean like till that 3 years they were failure? No, it's not. You don't know what will happen. We have all the factors as we discussed: luck, timing, the other people playing the game, and you don't know which will click, right? It's not entirely in your hand. So if you if you only stop at 10 videos, if the user is if the YouTuber is stopping at 10 videos thinking that okay, I'm not getting the views, I'm not getting that what I expected out of this, I'll stop. What happens after 10 when he is stopping at 10 videos, maybe 11th video might have become a hit if he has continued to do that, right? So that is the survival part and the tail part, right? You have to play many games in order to win one thing that you want. So that is what he is telling. When we think about investing, okay, one more thing to clarify. Till now we have understood how money is important, how the relationship work, why you have to save, how does saving matters, all that we have understood. Now if you are serious, or if you want to um, build the life that you want, you have to become little serious. How do you invest? How do you do? You got some money, you got something you want to save. How do you save, right? You have to think as an investor. You don't have to be like a huge investor or somebody who's working on day to day basis, like trading or all those things. You don't have to become that. But now investing options you have, bank, all that thing you have, but in order to become a little more comfortable, little more successful, how do you save, how do you invest? So in that terms of subject, this chapter basically tells whole thing in that matter only: investing, business and entrepreneurship, right? So you are uh, you are a salaried person, right? One of the income option you have is salary, right? You got the salary, you got something for saving. If you want that some part of saving to become huge in near life, say after 20 years, after 25 years or 30 years, you have to understand how stock market works, what are the saving options, how much does bank give you on savings, how much stock market returns, like what are the stock options that you have to put. You have to see all those options, right? Whatever we are learning, if you don't go and learn deep, or how you understand how each of the aspect work, then if you just get the salary and keep it in your bank, or keep somewhere, like just like let it be like the way it is, then like you will not be able to see that huge difference at the end, right? So you have to learn all that thing, basic thing, or at least, so that this chapter focuses on those things only: business, entrepreneurship, investing, all those things. So when an investor invest, like for example venture capital, he is saying venture capital. What is venture capital? Like it is a firm which invests in startup or business. It does it somebody pitches an idea and they tell that this is our idea and we want to make it a business, or they have started but they want some money to be put. So venture capitalist, what they do is they put their money, they bet on something, and they see whether this business will grow or not. In that also, out of 100% whatever they invest, 50 to 60% fail. They think it might get successful, but it doesn't, right? In that also, after that 60% it might fail, 20% might give medium returns, or 20 might give huge return, right? You don't know which will be successful or not. So they bet on something and then they um, wait. In that also tail part comes. Tail part in the sense, only few become success. Out of these many you invest, only few become successful. Like whenever, like he was giving example of public companies. When when a private company go public in the sense, we have discussed about this also. Public in the sense, a private company tells the public that you can take our stocks and you own a certain percentage of a company. That means public, anybody can invest in that company. In that also, Many public companies fail. When 100 companies get public, not all the public companies don't become huge or successful. Out of those 100 launched public companies, only 5% might become successful, right? So failure is as often as it can be. It is not uncommon. Failure is a nature. Out of like many things, when we get shocked because we always hope for only success, but that's not the case in investing, business, or entrepreneurship. So when you think of saving in terms of saving or investing, you don't have to be like big businessman or something. As a common people, we are talking in that terms only. So if you say put you buy some top whatever the government created or the top nifty 50, those things, right? You just put some amount, like 2k per month, 2k per month, and leave it like that only for say 30 years. In that 30 years, something like 5 different event can come and go. Like for example, if we just consider from 2015 only, corona came. That time the market crash happened because corona time businesses are not running. That time the crash happened and everybody were panicking, right? And now the gold rate is rising like anything, right? That time also, a person, like say you are putting 2k per month, you don't worry about anything. You don't see market up and down. You don't have to worry about the trading part, like somebody is doing date. Now if you can see, many people lose their money in trading because they want to get rich early, like they want to have a shortcut and then they want to become rich. Instead of that, what he is saying is, keep putting some amount in market. First, keep a year, 20 year or 30 year. Don't see anything up down. No, you don't worry about anything. Just keep putting. Okay. If you do that much only, then in the end if you take, he was explaining 3 people who are like, he gave a calculation of 3 people. One person, he just kept on investing. He did not take out the money, he did not sell or anything. No, he just kept on investing. The other person, he was investing when the recession hit and he was taking back the money and again he was putting back in the market. Other person, he used to take the money back when the recession hit, and after 6 months of waiting when to get recession over, again he'll put the money. Out of these 3 persons, the person who was putting continuously money, not the person who is taking some time and putting some back when the market is okay, the person who just keep on investing in the market without seeing the up down, he had most money at the end. Same time period, same money, but at the end he got more returns because he was not seeing the up and down. So the quote he is telling is, the person, somebody who can keep their calm, do the average thing. What is the average thing? Not worrying about the up and down on all those things. Not unless you are a professional investor, somebody like Rakesh Dundinwala or somebody who is professional in that, is how they live their life. Until and unless you are not, you are just a salaried person or a business person, you run a business and earn and you want to invest. If you are that kind of person, you don't have to worry about all those things. That is what here he is saying. The person who can do average thing when the other people around him are panicking, that person is a genius, because he is not worrying about the things that doesn't matter. He is telling, when say one there is a full sentence, it tells a story, right? It start to end there is a story. It's like a book, like not a book, a chapter in a book. There is suspense scene, there is a comma in that, there comes a punctuation. If you get scarier at a punctuation, you will not finish the end game, you will not complete the chapter, right? If you get scarier for each comma, okay, what will happen, if you keep on getting scared on each punctuation, you will not complete the chapter in a time you have to complete. You'll not understand it the way you wanted. So the same thing applies to investing also. The all the history has told us, like, some after few years the market goes up. 2008 crash or the corona crash, or now the gold rate, the market will keep on doing that. But when you see in larger picture, he's telling you don't have to be worried. You should not think in short term, not today, not tomorrow. You have to think in long term. If you think in long term, these up and down doesn't matter that much, because the end goal or the end result will come, however, to a sufficient level, not like the high level. It's not like that. It's sufficient level so that you can get a comfortable return. That is what this chapter in this chapter he's telling. He's telling the same thing. You don't have to get scarier by the punctuations. You should not. It is not a full stop. It's a punctual up and down. It's not the end of market. At least in terms of finances, businesses and entrepreneurship, tails drive everything. So we all know Amazon, like we all know it is now it's the biggest company, right? But when he out now, the success is Prime, we know, AWS we know, and many other things which are successful, that things we know. But before these success came, there are many failures that Amazon faced. Initially it was a book selling platform. Then when he launched a Fire phone, okay. At the time when he launched the Fire phone, it became a failure. It was not a successful. After the unsuccessful Fire phone launch, when the CEO came, the Jeff Bezos came for news interview. He did not. He was supposed to apologize to the investors and the people, but he did not. What did he say is, if you think this is a failure, wait for the other things that we are doing right now. He accepted that success is not easy. Success is not like it's cooked like this. He accepted we already are in line. We have other few failures in line, because he thought Fire phone will be a successful, but it is not. So then he thought, like, okay, this in comparison to this, that will become a different failure. So failure is a part of everything. You know, some people, like, you know, some relatives or something, okay, they are doing this, okay, they again failed. Okay, after 10 or 12 things they try, one will become successful. Nobody will get success in the one or two try, no. So it in at least business and all these things, all the successful people, they know that failure is a part of stepping stone for a successful thing. Something can be perfect, like flying a plane, or a chef, or a doctor. Somebody like that, they can be perfect all the time. But in business, because it involves more people in the game, or you are not the one who is dictating everything. There are n number of moving variables that is dictating something. So the end part, the goal or the aim that he is telling here is, try in business also. If you have something as a dream or something that you want to achieve, try as much as you can, see the end result. George Soros told that, he quoted here in this book, how much you gain when you are right and how much you lose when you are wrong. That is important. That is the calculation that you have to do. When you are right, you cannot predict the outcome. It might be wrong, it might be right. So how much are you gaining when you are right? Is it huge success, or is it like a good thing that you wanted? And how much did you lose in terms of failure? When you take a wrong decision, you have to calculate how much are you going to lose. So that will give you idea or a perspective of how much, okay, I can calculate, okay, if I fail, if this idea becomes wrong, or it doesn't hit with audience or something, then okay, this is the loss I'm bearing. So whenever you are investing, if you are not a professional investor also, if you are doing investing as a long term investing, then don't worry and keep on investing. Like see long term future, 30 years, 20 years, keep on investing. Don't worry about the up and down. That is what here the summary is. And when trying out new things, always keep in your mind that some things might be failure and one or the two things will become successful, right? You don't have to be too much worrying about only failures. So that is the end goal that the author is telling. Don't take this as a stock market advice or anything. I am not a professional, I don't know, I am just summarizing this book. So don't take this as an advice, or I am not giving any advice anyway. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you like the video, share, subscribe, and thank you.